Ohio State, which has seen its fair share of ranked teams of late. Badgers predominantly in the red. White uniforms predominantly on top here for Ohio State. Emily Londot into the teeth of the Wisconsin block.
Yeah, Emily Londot is going to be very active tonight, and what Wisconsin did right away, put the ball to the setter. Setter did not set the offense. It was a bump set from the libero for Ohio State. Everybody knew where the ball was going. Wisconsin's big block gobbling that first play up.
Again, for freshman setter Mia Tuman, Emily Londot's been the prime target when things go sideways. Londot averaging close to 5 kills per set, tops of the Big Ten right away. And the inside opportunity there for Carter Booth. And Wisconsin keeping it going after the violation there from Ohio State.
Yeah, sloppy play to start off for Ohio State. Usually if the ball is out of control, you put it high off the net. That time the advantage went to Wisconsin because that ball was hanging right on top of the net. They'll take care of that ball.
Again, 6-2 offense here for Wisconsin. Izzy Ashburn, one of those setters, triggering the serve. That's long. Side out here for Ohio State.
Let's talk about that 6-2 for Wisconsin. Setter's always going to be coming from the back court, which means there's always 3 hitters in the front court. But the other wrinkle for Wisconsin is they have 6 rotation outside hitters. They're always going to be a back row attack, so a lot of firepower coming from Wisconsin.
Ashburn running Booth in the middle. Transfer from Minnesota. Picking up where she left off for the Gophers here with the Badgers, and their deliverance from the outside for Ohio State. Kelly Sheffield, 11th season as head coach at Wisconsin, closing in on 300 wins with the Badgers, over 500 in almost a quarter century as a head coach, including that national title for the Badgers 2 seasons ago. Serve error long there for Ohio State. And Badgers back on top. Again, his team, again, they've done what they've needed to do to stay unbeaten. Hasn't been perfect at times, as you touched on, but they have found ways to win each time out.
Yeah, and Kelly Sheffield loves that about his team. You know, you're not always going to play perfectly, but you got to find a way to win. And they've had their backs against the wall so many times and have come out on top. That reverse sweep against Florida, that was impressive.
And neutralized offensively early on, then turned it around just like that. Speaking of turns, Devin Robinson, senior from the state of Iowa, with the put away. Second on this team in kills, close to 3 per set. And this Wisconsin team, number 1 of the Big Ten, kills per set, assists, and hitting percentage at 300 here. So we work our way through the month of December. Londot with an opportunity, looking for hands, not there. Another point here for the Badgers.
You know, you want to play as clean as you possibly can. When the ball does not go to the setter, the bump set to the left side, you want it tight to the pin so Londot can go up and reach high and swing. That time the bump set way inside. Tough one for her to handle.
Gulce Gutstikin. Outstanding defensive threat from Istanbul, Turkey. Popping that serve a bit long. And serve errors here for both teams. 3 combined to this point. And a look at Mia Tuman, highly regarded setter in from the state of Pennsylvania out of North Allegheny High School. 2-time Pennsylvania High School Player of the Year. 4 straight PA state titles with her team. And that won't please Jen Flynn Oldenburg with another service error in this matchup. Again, 4th season for her and her alma mater. Helped the Buckeyes to their first trip to the regional final round since 1994. But the storyline there, we'll touch more on it as we go through the night. Again, 5 players should have graduated last year, but that COVID bonus year, they could have stuck around. Jen Flynn Oldenburg deciding to go with the youth and the freshmen that were promised the scholarship, so those 5 transferring to different locations. So it's been a work in progress for this team to find itself.
Absolutely. Look at Londot, though. That line shot clear over top of Sarah Franklin, number 13 for Wisconsin. That's what Londot brings to the court. We saw her on the left side, and there you see her swinging from the right.
Senior from Utica, Ohio. The guiding force for this group. And it's a miss-hit there from Robinson. Back-to-back points for the Buckeyes. And again, this team, Jen Flynn Oldenburg, not shy about scheduling challenging non-conference opponents. And they certainly have been up against it here of late, including a 7-match skid. All were against ranked teams, and a bunch of them on the road. But again, this young group trying to learn from that. Tuma working it back. Opportunity there denied by Wisconsin. Sarah Franklin short on that attempt at another point here for Ohio State.
Yeah, an unusual miss hit by Sarah Franklin. Usually those ones she goes up and just hammers. So interesting miss hit by Sarah Franklin, number 13 for Wisconsin.
Emily Londot looking on. Again, tops of the Big Ten, kills, points per set. Talked with her at Pass and Serve today about the responsibility of being the primary focus for young freshman setters. You see CeCe Crawford with the put away. But again, as you got a young freshman trying to learn things, it's nice to, as the opposing coach Kelly Sheffield said, go to an aircraft carrier out there and rely on Londot with all of her weapons.
Yeah, and you know, Londot demands sets, and people know she's going to get the set, but she's so elite, so talented, that despite people knowing that she's going to get the ball, they set the block up against her, she's able to deliver. She's got a wide variety of shots. She goes off the block. She's a real gem to watch for the Buckeyes.
Talked about increasing the tools in the toolkit for her. Made that shift from the right side to the other side this year. Good get from Gutstekin. Off speed there from Franklin, and the roll shot works. There for the leader in kills for this Wisconsin team. 3.6 per game, 6th in the Big Ten.
Yeah, Sarah Franklin, a third-team All-American. Boy, she can hammer the ball. People like to call her Frank the Tank because she's so powerful.
MJ Hamill, again, part of that two-server attack. Two-setter attack, back to serve for Wisconsin, and now pumps it a bit long. Third serve error already here at the outset for the Badgers.
Actually, I think they called that in.
They
Yeah,
did.
that ball was served to Lauren Murphy, number 10, and so that was an ace for Wisconsin.
Check that point for Wisconsin. Hamill with another crack. Gliding back. Tuman trying to set. Tied at the net, Hamill. And the put away there for Crawford. And again, Wisconsin, after Ohio State had a 3-0 run to knot us at 6. 4 consecutive points here for the Badgers.
Great dig there by Ulia Orgel for Wisconsin, putting the ball not only up, but right into the setter's forehead there. Take a look at this sprawl. And then right up there, right in the right front area of the court, an easy set to run transition offense.
And your former outside hitter with a good pedigree now helping do stuff defensively for Wisconsin and Orgel. And again, the young crew, Lauren Murphy, trying to get it going, a freshman from Round Rock, Texas.
Yeah, you know, Murphy has a ton of talent. She has played well this season, but has also struggled. Typical freshman kind of player right now. If she finds her groove, she's going to be a dominant force on the left side for the Buckeyes.
There's success serving-wise. Another of those young performers, Caitlin Hoffman, delivering.
Gotta love it when the net helps you out on these plays here. It's a tough one to get, so Hoffman with the ace.
First of the match for the Buckeyes. Hamill running the middle, and there's Smrek. Able to pound it down, the junior out of Welland, Ontario in Canada.
And what you saw there was Smrek running from serve-receive, a play out of the middle. Now, this is a right-side attacker, but she has played middle before, so that is the versatility that Anna Smrek brings to the floor. You're going to see her here once the ball is served. She's going to move to the right pin and hit a different type of set on transition.
Flexibility, versatility, and depth. Part of the reason the Badgers are rolling right now, number 1, and there's Smrek again on the outside.
Right, and there you see that high ball to the right side. I love how she gets back on transition. Big approach, and she's just dominating that line. Nice high point of contact. Big swing on the ball.
7th kill already of this opening set for the Badgers. Spreading the wealth as usual. Scramble mode there, Hamill able to play it over. Free ball opportunity, Ohio State. Good get there from Orgel. Temi Thomas-Alara, transfer in from Northwestern with a quality swing. Orgel bumping up. Thomas-Alara, dug there by the freshman Murphy. Back row attack, Londot. the miss wide there from Thomas Alar.
And if you are Jen Flynn Oldenburg, head coach of Ohio State, you have got to love that effort from Ohio State players. That's exactly what she wants her team to do. Stay in the moment, stay in these long rallies, force Wisconsin to make a play, and that time an error results in a point for Ohio State. So Jen Flynn Oldenburg got to be pleased with her team and that rally.
And trying to get the passing a little more dialed in here as they enter into conference play. Toomey run in the middle. Smrek there read it nicely. Hamill, back set. Crawford with a crunching swing, handled there by Hoffman. And now the miss hit from the freshman Murphy.
And if you look at Wisconsin's side of the net, they have Crawford now blocking on the right side, Smrek in the middle. So again, it puts pressure on the other team. You can't hit low seam because Smrek is huge. She's 6'9", so you've got to hit a shot, and that's why they are rotating those two players when they're in the front court.
Another ace, Crawford delivering that one. Hoffman couldn't handle it. And timeout here, Ohio State. Wisconsin trying to get a little separation here against the Buckeyes, looking for a 12th win in a row to start the season.
Old Trapper Beefs, camping catastrophes.
83rd all-time volleyball meeting between these programs. Wisconsin leads 43-39. Badgers up 5 here. First set in the best of 5 tonight. Jason Knapp, Audrey Flaw, glad to have you with us here on Big Ten Network. And Badgers trying to make it 12 straight wins to start the season, go to 3-0 in Big Ten play, and make it a 21st straight Big Ten match win overall. Booth in the middle.
Wisconsin takes a free ball. Free ball is a ball that's just passed over the net, set over the net. So easy for them to handle that ball and run system. That time, Carter Booth, number 52, running that B, that push, sometimes called a 31 out of the middle.
First team all Big Ten, again at Minnesota last year, and incorporating herself into this Wisconsin attack. Smrek going cross court. Sarah Sue Morbitzer, senior from Groveport, Ohio. Nice dig there for Ohio State, but can't stop them all. Smrek with the kill, her third. You have 3 players already with multiple kills for Wisconsin.
Yeah, and what's remarkable about Smrek is she hit a cross-court shot, and then she hit one even sharper the next time. So one time it was in Sarah Sue Morbitzer's lap, and then she adjusted, went sharper on the second attack.
Big rip there for Lauren Murphy. Again, these freshmen, you talked about it. Jen Flynn Oldenburg says, hey, sometimes they look really good. Other times they look like freshmen. And for this player that's hit negative in 5 of her last 8 matches, getting off to a good start here is a great sign.
Oh, she certainly is. I've been impressed with what she's been able to do from the outside. High IQ player, lots of shots. So it's going to be interesting to see how she evolves in this Big Ten conference.
Flynn Oldenburg talking about every time they saw her on the recruiting trail, she was in big moments, just trying to get ready for those now as you get to this next level. And again, getting in there with a lot of company in that young class. Freshman setter Mia Tubin trying to lead the way for this group. Murphy checking out. Ashburn back to serve as Wisconsin tries to roll closer to snagging this first set. Overpass. Booth couldn't put it away. Opportunity for Londot to finish.
Wisconsin really missing that opportunity. Carter Booth should have hammered that ball. Easy for Ohio State's defense to control, but then here is the aircraft carrier for the Buckeyes. Such a heavy load she carries for this team. You can see right between the blockers' hands on that swing.
Thomas Alara up. Tubin going back on the outside of the long dot, but Wisconsin there, Robinson in the right spot.
Yeah, that's a big block to hit around, and that time Emily Londot got that put back right in her face, but she can laugh it off, and that's the thing about great hitters, they have very short memories. They want the next ball. She will not be intimidated by this huge Wisconsin block. She's going to keep swinging and finding a way to win.
Third block of the opening set for the Badgers. Lead back to 7. Tuman will try another of the freshman class. Eloise Brandaway, highly regarded freshman out of Columbus and Bishop Hartley High School. There's the outside hitter turned libero here for Wisconsin, Julia Orge.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Sheffield about the transition, and he said she's an all-in kind of kid. She bought into the role, but what's interesting about the brochure for her is she doesn't have an opportunity to let plays go. Look at Londot letting that play go.
And the junior from Poland. And again, to make that maneuver, it talks a lot about the depth, too, that Wisconsin has to be able to put a successful player on the outside into this role.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a change of mindset when you go from offense to defense. The mental component, the self-talk that Julia Orgel is trying to get used to at this point in the season.
Again, not a lot of players in any sport really like getting asked to give up offense for defense. We asked Kelly Sheffield about that. He said, look, nothing in her is worried about that as far as what she needs to do. Zero issue with making the chains. And so the one thing for her to get used to is when you're on the outside and you're terminating, your finishing points get pumped up. Sometimes it's hard to have that pressure continue to build and build and build when you're digging balls all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So she's used to ending points, getting points for her team. And now she's getting points because of her ball control. But remember last year, she used to grunt when she would swing, and she would get so animated when she made a big block, and a little different in the brochure. You can't do that based on your play. You're not finishing the play, and that's something for her to get used to.
Serve popped long here from Ohio State. Again, Buckeyes haven't done themselves any favors in the serve game. Third service miscue and no blocks thus far for the Buckeyes. That's one primary concern for Jen Flynn Oldenburg. Said the blocking issue last in the Big Ten, only about a block and a half per set. Something got to try to be able to do and hold that opponent hitting percentage a little lower than they've been this year. Foes hitting at .243 on the season. And this Wisconsin team piping hot here at 300 plus.
Smart play by Emily Londot, taking it from the back court and putting in a tip. And where she put it was right in Anna Schreck's lap. So Anna Schreck, known for her offense, known for her blocking, maybe not so talented running balls down, especially those tips.
Tough touch there in the back for Wisconsin. Point here, Buckeyes. Double contact called on the Badgers. Riley Rader trying to get herself rolling here. And Londot shouldering the load with 5 of the 8 kills thus far for the Buckeyes. Rader still looking for her first kill here. And now Smrek in tight at the net. And they are going to get a touch there on Ohio State. So the Badgers able to side out.
Yeah, lots of offensive weapons coming at you. If you're Ohio State, you have to be able to read what is possible off of the pass. And right now, Wisconsin's passing so well. There's always those 3 options plus the back row attacker. Tons of firepower.
Tuman, after the tough first contact, can't handle it. Another easy point there for Wisconsin. 2 away from snagging the first set. Teaching moment for Jen Flynn Oldenburg, trying to help her team build back here, whether in this set or for what's to come, with Wisconsin closing in on a set 1 win. Welcome to but also incorporating some of those transfers like Thomas Alara and Carter Booth.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to build camaraderie, memories, to train in a different environment, and love those pictures. Those are memories that these girls will have forever. And again, it goes beyond the volleyball court sometimes. Friendships that will last a lifetime, I'm sure.
And you also wonder if they sniffed out any international talent. You see the service error there from Wisconsin. The last international trip for Coach Sheffield and the Badgers was 2019. And that's where they first saw Gulce Gutstikin when she was playing overseas and able to lure her in, part of that NCAA title team back in 2021. First contact, Thomas Alara. Out of the back row there is Franklin.
So how difficult is that to block? You've got your three hitters. You've got Franklin, who is so incredibly talented in the backcourt, and the setter has every single option. So really stressing out that Ohio State block.
And Wisconsin doing what it's needed to do to put itself on display with a set point. One retrieved here by Riley Rader, and that's a good sign to finally get her first kill of this set.
What makes Rader so exceptional in the middle is her speed off the ground. So she gets up, and then her distance from the net is awesome. It gives her setter a nice window to set the ball to, and she's got a nice whip for an arm.
Tough first contact and another easy put away up the middle. And Rader with back-to-back finishes.
And take a look at the serve. That forced Sarah Franklin to go back. And those are really tough balls to handle. You can see after it released off of her arms, she's clear on the end line. So really good, effective serve for the Buckeyes.
It's Murphy trying to set the stage for another point. Nothing doing. Temi Thomas-Alara pounding it down the line. Wisconsin caps an impressive, well, let's see. They're going to get a look at it. Hold on.
I think they're going to say she's in the net. I think that was the call. The ball was set pretty tight. So on a tight set, you got to get your feet to the ball, jump straight up. We'll see if she clipped the net coming through. I'm not seeing the net move at all.
Well, Kelly Sheffield coming out to chat with Thomas Alara to see if he opts to use one of his challenges. And it looks like he will.
On that last replay that we saw, I did see a touch on the follow-through,
So Marty Prochko, our down official, is going to get with video and take a look.
On that follow-through, she clearly hits the net. So this is going to go Ohio State's way.
Get each team with 2 challenges per match. You win it, you keep it. And clearly ripped inside the line, but the question here, the follow-through at the net.
You see a touch on the net?
Looks like coming through.
Yep.
With the knuckles hitting.
She didn't touch the net. That's a tremendous hit. She had some line, she ripped it, but I do think that she touched that net with her fingers on the follow-through, like you said.
Again, for Kelly Sheffield, we talked about Carter Booth coming in from Minnesota. Thomas Alara again coming in from Northwestern. 3-time first-team All-Big Ten performer. It's been interesting to look at the makeup of this Wisconsin squad and trying to fit these new pieces together, especially when you have a player this dynamic. Just about 2 kills per set, way below her normal number. Average about 4 kills per set at Northwestern, but trying to find her space in this type of attack. So it will remain Buckeye point. Wisconsin down to a single challenge. Still Badgers with a handful of opportunities to end this set. 4th crack at closing out set 1 now. Murphy still serving. Hamill going with Smrek. Buckeyes in scramble mode to save it. Opportunity Wisconsin. Booth off speed. Able to get it over. Wanda. Does it fall in or not? No. Out. Point Wisconsin, and the Badgers take the set.
A good effort by Ohio State in the backcourt defense. Couldn't transition to score, so that ball swing.
Like it was yesterday, and it's just so exciting to continue to watch the sport of volleyball grow and know that my teams were a part of history and part of winning teams, and so fun to watch people enjoy volleyball and continue to make it grow. And Penn State volleyball was definitely at their peak when I was there, and they're getting back to it these days, so I'm excited to watch them play as well.
I can't help but notice this Columbus Fury shirt that you have on. Tell us about what's going on in your world right now.
Yeah, my world is pretty crazy. I just became a mom, and then 4 months ago, and now I signed to play professionally for the Columbus Fury for the PVF Pro Volleyball Federation starting in January 2024. So we're really excited to have volleyball in Columbus. Obviously, volleyball is loved here in Columbus, so and a bunch of other cities around the country, and we're just excited to get volleyball on the map in the U.S. because it's definitely big, and definitely people need to see it.
Back-to-back points here from the Buckeyes to start off this set. So your dual role here of player and mom, have you started to do the math on how that's going to work for you?
You know, I haven't, but I have a great support system, and my husband's been super supportive as well and trying to make it work. And my mom was a superhero, and I know all the moms out there are also superheroes, and they do it without any complaints. So that's what I'm going to try and do, and just kind of teach my daughter how to work hard and keep her head down. And that's what my mom did. That's what all the moms out there do. So I have a special place in my heart for moms these days.
Well, I know as somebody that lives in Columbus, Ohio, we're so excited to have you with the Fury. And I know that this is the first year that this Pro League is going to be up and running. So what are your hopes and dreams that this Pro League does for women's sports?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I think is that women just need to get a chance. And I think that this is a perfect opportunity for that. It seems like the league is backed by people that love sports, that are super enthusiastic and passionate about women's volleyball, and I think if you give women a chance, we've seen it time and time again. Once you give us a chance, we rule the world. So I hope that's what happens, and I'm really passionate about this league, and I think we're gonna take over the world. So if we can do that, I think, you know, watch out.
Yeah, well, I'm super geeked out that you're standing here next to me. I've loved watching you at Penn State and loved watching you play international ball as well.
Thank you.
Megan, thanks for the time. Good luck with motherhood and volleyball.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Megan Courtney Lush taking some time out to chat with us. Again, the second set. You see that? So Ohio State adding to its lead. And again, Audrey, this sport right now, we've seen with the attendance records the last few years, the excitement, the support that it's getting treated with around the country at the college ranks now, filling out with giving women opportunity to play at home here at the next level. And that's in part because of the great fan support like you're seeing here. Buckeyes with a timeout here, taking 5 of the first 7. 3-0 run here for the Buckeyes, trying to take set 2. The team said frustrating in their 7-match losing streak against those ranked teams. All those losses, they had chances in each of those sets. Can they keep this early lead going here and maybe pull even?
Yeah, the key is this tough serving from the end line. You've got to put some pressure on Wisconsin's offense.
Good get in the back for Sydney Taylor. And now, point here to the Badgers.
And this is why when you have a one-dimensional offense, it becomes very predictable. Look at Wisconsin's block already taking off at the point of contact that the setter releases the ball, and they're lined up perfectly. So teams that have a variety of weapons in the front row and can set anybody and get the kill, they're really hard to defend. Ohio State, a little too predictable here with just Londot swinging.
You know that's going to happen anywhere with a lot of the high-quality blocking teams in the Big Ten. As when Olmberg said, we can't get caught up how big Wisconsin is. You know it's going to happen, especially when we're setting Londot as much as we do. There, Buckeyes able to have success.
Nice transition, middle attack by Ella Brandewie. Take a look at how it gets all the way up to the setter. Good pass there. Brandewie keeping her distance from the net, swinging all the way through.
So the freshman able to check in with her first kill. Londot guiding the way with 7 putaways on 17 swings. Hustle play for Ohio State. 3-ball Wisconsin. There's the block.
Look at this one-on-one opportunity. Look at Londot's eyes here. She's looking right at the approach of Deb Robinson, reaching out, up and over the net perfectly.
The long-awaited first block of the match for Ohio State, and it's a monster. Badgers leading with 6 blocks in that category. Now, nice work there for the Badgers. And the opening available.
Sarah Franklin doing a good job of changing up her shot. She's got lots of top spin on that, so her hand comes over top of the ball, forcing the ball to rotate quickly and hit the ground off her hand.
Hamill. That's crunched a little bit long. So quick side out earned here by Ohio State. See Sydney Taylor popping out. She was wearing the libero jersey last match against Iowa. You look at the stats and all of a sudden at 5'9", she was getting a lot of swings on the outside, pressed into some duty on the offensive end.
Talk about Sid Taylor. I was so proud of her. She's a fierce and fearless competitor. She got the nod to swing on that left pin. She's done that before in high school and club, and she did a tremendous job keeping her Buckeyes in that Iowa game.
And Grace Egan, another of the promising freshman class, out since the Georgia Tech game with injury. There's a look at Sydney Taylor looking on. And Taylor had 1 total attack her first 2 years at Ohio State. She had 16 swings against the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, she's one of many Mintonette players. Mintonette, a club here in Central Ohio. Sid Taylor, Sarah Sue, Emily Londot, Ella Brandewie all play for Mintonette.
Saw Egan there on the sideline. Again, no timetable on her return, but with the boot on and at times trolling around a little cart. It's not a good sign for a speedy recovery at this point, but a wait-and-see look there for the Buckeyes. Hamill go to the outside, and Thomas Alara doing what she does, smacking that to the open space.
And that's that second-team All-American swing from Temi Thomas Alara. Take a look at how she elevates and she exploits that block that's not hip-to-hip. If hands are not in front of her face, she is going to score. So talented, Temi Thomas Alara.
In multiple kills for her, Franklin with 5 to lead the way, Spreck with 4, Robinson with 3. Again, the balance that personifies this Wisconsin team. Tuman running the middle, and they'll continue to boost the confidence of Brandewie.
Well, confidence from Lauren Murphy. She passed a perfect ball. You see it coming off her arms right here. Clearly a target. But look at the space right between the 2 blockers that Mia Tuman is able to put that ball in. Perfectly placed set by Tuman and a great swing by Brandewie.
And the Buckeyes keep it rolling. Second ace there for Ohio State. You've got Hoffman trying to add to this hot start here for the Buckeyes. Spreck denied.
You think the crowd is loving this? Take a look at this block here. Perfectly lined up. You can see the angle of approach from Anna Schreck. She was going to hit cross court. Pin blocker lined up perfectly with her to stop it.
Jen Flynn Oldenburg raving about Murphy's volleyball IQ, among the best in the team. She was perfectly situated that time to deny Spreck. Now on the air, side out back to Wisconsin. All part of the growth for this group here for the Buckeyes. Again, with 7 new faces this year. Raider. Touch of the net. Thomas Alara shut down by the Buckeye block. And again, this one for a point.
Well, the Buckeyes are learning on the job. They're learning how to line up and reach up and over, giving the outside hitters for Wisconsin a run for their money. I like how number 7 for the Buckeyes, that's Thorpe, just sealing that net. Boy, she got the group excited.
Chelsea Thorpe, sophomore from Chicago, didn't play last year as a freshman, so really learning too, like a lot of those other newcomers, getting game experience here, especially in conference.
That's what you got to like about Temmie Thomas. Short memory, got stuffed bad, and comes back and just wipes that ball high off the blocker's hands. Those shots are so difficult for the backcourt defense to run down. So Temmie Thomas-Alara showing her All-American talent on that second swing.
And Kelly Sheffield talks about her continuing to grow, working with different tempo with Wisconsin's offense, maybe what she's seen in the past. Free ball popped over by Londa. And off speed there for Carter Booth. And the sophomore from Denver, such a force at 6'7" in that middle position. And Wisconsin trying to creep a little closer here at the midpoint of the second set. Tough first contact. Tuman backs it over. Lay out there for Hoffman. Murphy, dug by Orja. And they're looking for a touch. Badgers got it. And it's Thomas Alara down the line. We mentioned some veteran hitters. How about 2 of the top 3 active in the Big Ten doing damage here in this matchup?
Yeah, it's been a treat to watch Temmie Thomas-Alara and Londa tonight. Look at those numbers. That is so impressive. Elite athletes. And boy, they're showing us how to swing on either pin.
And again, both players adding to their totals, again, in a little different scenarios. Yeah, we mentioned the transfer for Thomas-Alara, and you've got Londa moving from right to left and being the primary focus now of this attack, and both still finding ways to thrive. And right now, Ohio State thriving for a while, but a 4-0 Wisconsin run makes it a 1-point set.
These used cars look the same, but how can you tell which...
The big thing, you get that game experience, the bonding, but you get extra practices before you get to go, which for a team with so many new pieces is immense for Coach.
Yeah, the practice time is great, but what I think is just as important is the players getting to know each other, the coaches interacting with the players in a casual way, and opportunities arrives, like Sid Taylor on that trip, because other players were sick, got the opportunity to swing outside, and boy, that came into play against Iowa.
Certainly did last match. Again, as the Buckeyes were able to snap that losing skid, and now here against number 1 of the country, you knew the Badgers were going to make some sort of run, and here they are to draw even at 13 apiece here in the second. And Kelly Sheffield talks about it. It shifts from match to match. Who's most important for us? Some of it is our depth. Part of it's how we're defending. Out of the back row, Londa denied up front. Ashburn in setting for Thomas-Alara and powers that through the block.
Impressive dig in the back court by Sarah Franklin, really handling that ball, not only playing it up, but putting it to the setter, and then that set to Alara. Perfect to the outside. I think some of the sets were a little underset at times to the pin, but that one was a nice one for her to swing high and hard.
See that scoring run starting to add up. 6 straight, though, denied after the service error from Franklin. Yeah, check it. Service error there from Ashburn. Either way, side out here for the Buckeyes. And now Murphy gives it right back. That one just a touch long. That's tough. Buckeyes been riding some good serving from her earlier here.
Now we're going to see defensive specialist Sydney Taylor coming in for number 10, Lauren Murphy.
For the Badgers, number 21,
Goochtigan back in. Serve duty for her for the Badgers. Tuman to Rader on the slot. Tight ball, Franklin just forced to pop it over. Back to Rader, cross court. Point here, Ohio State.
The rhythm between Rader and Tuman on that slide is looking really good. I think Rader makes herself an easy target, to set to, because she's talking as she's moving to her position and approaching for the ball. So great communication by Rader.
Again, coming into this match under 2 kills per set. But Jen Flynn Oldenburg talking about as the passing has improved throughout the season, more and more opportunities for Rader. Coming off a 9-kill matchup against Iowa in the sweep there against the Hawkeyes.
Good first contact by Wisconsin. Forces Ella Brandewy for Ohio State to stay with the middle for Wisconsin. And then because of that, she's late to get to the outside, which opens a lot of area along the net to swing into.
Franklin, her 6th of the match, kill leader, and the Badgers tough serving again. Orgel delivered.
Orgel's just improved in that area. Just a great server. Has always been a good server, but her numbers this year are really impressive. That hard float serve, and she's hitting the targets.
Aces climbing here for Wisconsin. Early stages of Big Ten play. Already 5 of them tonight, 4 in the ace category for the Buckeyes. Tuman for Londa. When in doubt, send it out wide for number 22.
Nice job by Ohio State to just keep the ball alive, and they just are playing with guts right now. Great defensive get there by Sarah Sue Morbitzer on the line, and then smart shot by Emily Londot to go off the blocker's hands, and you could see the frustration from Dev Robinson because she got used on that one.
Londot 8 killed, 22 swings thus far, hitting 136. Badgers making her work for it. Couple of scramble contacts by Ohio State. There's Taylor with a good dig. And Londa finishes.
Well, we often are impressed by the way the point ends, but look at what kept that ball alive. Number 11, Sid Taylor, laying out, making some tremendous gets on the ball. And a free ball typically goes in favor of the offensive team, but boy, Sid Taylor covering that hole between the block, keeping the ball alive. Impressive backcourt by Sydney Taylor.
Ashburn going to Robinson. Feathers it to the opposite corner. Orgel with a nice get. Nothing feathered about that one. Robinson pounding it to the ground.
Now Robinson's like, I've seen enough. I'm putting this one down. Take a look at this nice set by Ashburn, and then there's that hole between the block. I love the camera angle there. You can see exactly how the block is not formed well, and it's no rip on Ohio State. That offense is happening so quickly. There's so many offensive weapons. You have to wait till the ball is released from the setter's hands and then make a quick lateral move. That time it was all Dev Robinson finding the hole and smacking it.
Been super active. 5 kills, 5 digs, 4 blocks thus far for the Badgers. Wisconsin by 1, make it 2 as Franklin fools the block and gets it down off the line.
Well, Franklin hits the ball so hard that typically you have to be deeper, and sometimes you're on your heels. And then what she does exceptionally well is she disguises that roll shot. She goes up hard on perfect sets and then roll shots it in. So she's real deceptive, has these tools, and she just uses the right one at the right time. Good vision.
Yeah, Kelly Sheffield just raving about her being super consistent throughout this year, and it's carried through here in this match. 7 kills, hitting 400 plus to this point for the Badgers. In the middle, Brandewy try to recover. And now dumped over by Hoffman. And Smrek in Wisconsin able to take advantage of that overpass to get to 21st.
Well, Crawford and Schmeck were kind of both thinking that they were going to play that first ball. Crawford called it and then called it again, and that's great communication. When there's two people going after the ball, somebody has to almost nudge the other person out of the way, be aggressive, call it, take that first ball contact, gives Schmeck the opportunity to approach hard and score.
Her 5th kill. She's had double-figure kills in 3 of the last 4 matches, potentially trending that way again. Tumen in the middle, and the freshman Brandowy denied.
This team is so balanced, but what Crawford does so well is she is a great blocker, and she is disciplined. She waits for the ball to get set, and she lines up with Brandowy's approach, reaches up and over. So impressive block there by CeCe Crawford.
Now you look at this Wisconsin defense again, helping the Badgers work their way back into this set.
Well, there's a great block, and there wasn't much movement. It set was right into Crawford's hand. So whenever you're up against a really talented block, you want them to move laterally. This defense for Wisconsin, incredibly impressive. Look at the numbers there. I mean, second in the Big Ten. So just the first 2 Big Ten games. Opposing hitting percentage, blocks per set. These are big numbers, and this is why Wisconsin is such a talented team. Not only do they have the offensive power, but defense is getting it done as well. And
that block has really risen up here. Now 10 blocks thus far in the match, on the verge of potentially 5 per set here early on. Don't forget, more quality volleyball coming Saturday. Number 2 Nebraska faces Indiana, followed by a top 25 showdown between Penn State and Minnesota. Saturday Night Volleyball powered by Unleaded 88, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. We know the depth of talent in the Big Ten. Kelly Sheffield bringing number 1 in the nation here in Game 3 of the Big Ten schedule for Ohio State. How about for all these freshmen, you start off your Big Ten campaign on the road at Nebraska. That was their first taste of Big Ten Conference volleyball.
Yeah, I can only imagine they were probably just, jaws down and just looking around, because playing at Nebraska is intimidating. But once you get a couple points under your belt, you just got to go with it. Volleyball is volleyball, but those Nebraska fans, they do appreciate good volleyball. So even if Ohio State is getting some points, they love to see long rallies and good volleyball. Fun place to play.
Sweeps against Northwestern and Indiana to start conference play for Wisconsin. And a loss at Nebraska, and then a hard-fought win at Iowa for the Buckeyes to get on the board. There's Wanda. And as advertised, been the go-to performer, 9 kill. Uchtikin first contact. Nice setup there for Hamel to put away from Smrek.
And this is what we were talking about. Anna Smrek does a variety of different things. She's a right side hitter, in serve receive. She is such an easy target to set. She gets up high, and that has been the bread and butter. High efficiency numbers for her, that quick in front of the setter, off of serve receive. So showing versatility, and if you're the blocking team, you have to know that. You have to follow her route.
Coach Sheffield saying last year maybe in some of the big moments she tried too hard. Been more effective in those spots this year. Hitting over 500 thus far in this match. And Wisconsin coming all the way back, now 2 points away from stealing this set. And the Buckeyes had some separation before Wisconsin reeled Ohio State back in and surged ahead. Serve error there from Franklin. Let's see what the Buckeyes can do here in this pressure spot.
Talk about good service errors. That's a bad service error, because that ball is in the middle of the net, and Sarah Franklin knew it right out of her hands. Just a poor contact, and she was clearly upset with herself.
Hamel. Rader able to take the free ball and bury it.
you have to learn how to play ugly, and right now the ball is not in system a lot. But take a look at this heads-up play. Good defensive play, good effort, but when that ball is just hanging on top of the net, the advantage goes to the offensive player, Riley Rader. Fist pump. She's excited about getting that point.
Hoffman. Hamill tracking back for the set. Roll shot there from Thomas O'Lara.
What I like about that is where she placed the ball, because even if number 10 Lauren Murphy would have played that ball, she was going to be on the ground. And what does that mean? That means that there's only 2 other hitters that Ohio State can go to, and that helps set up the defensive part of your game.
Set point for the Badgers, and it'll be into the net there for Ohio State. And like that, the Badgers storm back to take a 2-0 lead here on the road at Ohio State. Number 1 team in the nation, firing strong tail end of that set. And they have control here on the road. Back to Columbus for more volleyball coming up in a moment on Big Ten Network.
Here we go, Billy. Swing hard, buddy.
Again here at Covelli Center in Columbus. Belief for the Buckeye fans in that second set, but they watched Wisconsin steal it away. A couple of set victories for the number 1 team in the country. And Ohio State forced to try and win 3 in a row to steal this one from Wisconsin. You look at all of the firepower here on display for Wisconsin.
Yeah, left side, best side. I love that. Yes, Temi Thomas-Alara and Sarah Franklin. Look at those numbers. 7 kills apiece. Franklin hitting .417. Great numbers for Sarah Franklin. She's done it in a variety of different ways. We've seen a bunch of shots from her. Here's that roll shot that was disguised so well, getting her hand on the ball, putting a lot of top spin, and then that power cross-court shot. And then she sees the block and goes deep with that one. Again, another roll shot, taking advantage and deflecting the ball off the block. Sarah Franklin getting her job done.
Well, wait a minute. The right side's the best side.
Well, those numbers are looking pretty good, too. Look at Anna Schmeck hitting .500, and Deb Robinson, of course, with 5 kills, but 4 blocks. So I don't know. It's debatable. What do you think?
It's a tough call, as Kelly Sheffield will tell you. Our attack can be high level, and we have a lot of options, and you're really starting to see this group get comfortable here offensively.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing Deb Robinson does so well is that block. Look at her form. Look at how high above the net she gets. And then not only is there height, but then it's that reach over. It's like she wants to choke the attacker, and I love that form. So she does a really good job of lining up, getting over the net. What a force she is, either offensively or defensively. What a star she is for the Wisconsin Badger team.
Again, the Buckeyes had moments in that second, and they led 4 times by 5, the last time at 13-8 before Wisconsin kind of hit the accelerator and ran away.
Yeah, and coupled with that is the inexperience of Ohio State, knowing how to handle, you know, certain situations, and they really have to just rebound. You know that Wisconsin is going to thump the ball, so how do you react to that? What do you do? So, you know, here's the third set. We'll see how they come out.
And again, both sets, Ohio State hitting exactly the same, 158 in both. Wisconsin 300 set 1, 308 set 2. And trying to get out of here in 3 straight sets as we're underway in the third. And Wanda trying to get room.
What a creative play. Wanda's actually back row, and she hit a back row attack from that left side. Take a look at how she jumps behind that 10-foot line. She's a back row player. You don't see that play very often in this conference.
And again, making the adjustment from right side to left side hitter this year. And she talked about the growth of the young players around her, saying, look, I've been making practice, learning that spot and making mistakes in practice a lot. And they are too. It's okay. We're kind of growing together. That's a mature player trying to help lead the way.
Mature player and a great leader.
11 double-digit kill games this year now for the senior. Hamill tied at the net. There's Rader trying to poach there. Another point here for Ohio State. Hamill with a little question about the call.
Yep, so Hamill is a back row setter. So if the block goes up as she's touching the ball, if that ball has crossed the plane of the net, it will be called a back row attack. So that's one of the disadvantages sometimes. Let's take a look at it again. So she goes up to set the ball, attack the ball, and Brandewie is there. Not much of a discussion by Sheffield.
Off speed from Thomas Alara. Smrek denying. Raider slipped down, and that just threw everything haywire there for OSU.
Ohio State just happy that nobody got injured on that play, but Temi Thomas-Alara tried to get Londot out of the play by roll-shotting it to Londot, a little bit out of her reach, forcing Londot to go low, and therefore not a transition weapon. So good placement by Temi Thomas-Alara to get one hitter out, and then the block can focus on the other front row players.
So Sydney Taylor subbing back in for the Buckeyes. Jay Guchtigan back to serve. And tough first contact there for Ohio State.
There's Guchtigan with the serve. You can see how that ball has all kinds of movement, and it's served between the seam of two players. So both players for Ohio State trying to go after that ball. It ricochets off of Sarah Sue's arms.
Give her the ace. 6 now in the match for Wisconsin. And the Badgers trying to pick up where they left off in set number 2.
Ball set so high, you can see that Wisconsin block. Look at that block. Anna Schreck's head is completely over the net. So difficult shot to hit around for Londot.
In the middle, Raider denied. That time Booth had all of that one. And Wisconsin surges ahead.
So how do you beat a huge block like Wisconsin? You've got to pass well enough, and you've got to set things faster. Fast tempo, try to get the middle blocker to hold a little bit, but that means that you have to occasionally set the middle.
It is hard to replicate 6'9" and 6'7" as you get ready to play. Wisconsin, but that's the case, and then you get the athletic ability too of Smrek and the headiness there to go off speed.
I love this set selection. Moving forward, setting back, putting it into the hands of your superstar, Anna Schreck. And look at where she puts that ball right in front of the setter for Ohio State. Great offensive play.
Again, good effort from the Buckeyes, but just running out of space. Badger attack continuing to fire up. And Jen Flynn Ohnberg says, look, they get their middles and right sides so many swings in system, and then that's a little different from what you see from other people. And then remember, they've got all those high quality lefts. Pop long there from Wisconsin. Buckeyes trying to see if they can build something. Sheffield says our goal isn't just to win any match in September, it's to learn and grow as we go. And trying to find themselves in position like they were 2 years ago and winning it all. And that long-awaited national title. 2. Good hustling effort from Orja. And it finds its way to the floor. That's Franklin up front and a Buckeye player down. And that's Tooman. Jen Flynn Oldenburg, athletic training staff out there immediately. Didn't see what brought down the freshman setter from Swickley, PA, but was trying to gather herself here.
Hey, you hate to see this.
And while they attend to her, we'll take a timeout here. More from Columbus on the way in a moment. off the court, able to put a little bit of weight on, but still needing assistance from members of the athletic training staff headed to the locker room. So that means Kamaya Gibson, sophomore at Buckeye High School here in Ohio, West Virginia transfer, comes in to man the offense and the attack here for the Buckeyes. Franklin powering it off the block. Out of bounds point here, Wisconsin. We'll see how the Buckeyes deal with this change of fortune.
Yeah, lots of adversity, but I know Gibson, and I know she's a capable setter. I've seen her in club. I've seen her at West Virginia. Very talented young lady. Can she settle everybody down, and can she just set a crisp offense? We'll see what she does.
Gibson able to help set that nicely. Off the touch, point here for Ohio State.
Gibson doing a good job of taking a marginal pass that's passed to the 10-foot line and putting up a good ball. Now, what this young lady needs to do is put some pressure on the service line and then just talk to her team and get them rolling.
And was the assist leader for the Mountaineers last year, albeit in a two-setter system. Now, jumping into the driver's seat here, the attack for the Buckeyes. And right now, her teammates helping to pick her up.
Gibson with a key defensive play there. A thunderous attack. Look at that. She gets low, hips forward, puts that ball up. And then you've got the outside hitter there just sealing the deal. Great bump set there by Sid Taylor, number 11. And then Londot taking advantage of the block, ricocheting that ball off of Wisconsin's middle blocker.
Londot pounding away, adding to her kill total. Dozen now in the match. Down the line goes Franklin. Tough first contact on the overpass that's blocked out of bounds by the Buckeyes. And Wisconsin sides out.
And here come the two subs for Wisconsin. Izzy Ashburn is the setter, number 11. She'll come back to serve. And then Dev Robinson rotates in the front row for MJ Hamill.
Again, Wisconsin going to the 6-2 last year, worked well. And again, the two leaders, Ashburn and Hamill, both co-captains for the second straight year. And so unselfish to share the role and allow all of this firepower to get displayed. With those three hitters always up front. Cross court, Londot taking something off.
You know, what makes Londot exceptional is how she moves the ball around. What a great set. Just high ball, let Londot go after it. She's showing tip, and so what do you have to do? You have to release, but where she puts the ball puts pressure on that Wisconsin defense. It's over the head of the drop-off blocker in right front.
Franklin can't handle it, and that's powered away by the Buckeyes, who again, with their starting center taken to the locker room, have picked up the intensity here.
Yeah, I really think Gibson came in and did a couple really good things to kind of get her team going, and boy, they've been building off of that for sure.
So many times like that, an injury leaves a team flat. Buckeyes have been able to buckle up here. Chelsea Thorpe, alert play at the net to get it over. And now Franklin doing what she does, effectively finishing that time off hands. Thomas Alar returning. Gooch again back out. And Franklin to the service line. And started her career at Michigan State. Florida native. Doing damage to the team from Madison. That one stung a little bit long. 6 aces against 9 errors now in the serve category for the Badgers. Ashburn cleanly there, and no doubt about it from Thomas Alar.
Yeah, great pass, first contact by Orgel. You know, what is really interesting about her is when she played in Poland, she was only a right side hitter. She didn't pass a lot of balls, and now she's a libero and she's passing a ton of balls and doing a great job. Her numbers passing wise are really, really accurate.
Again, taking a good hitter and throwing him to that spot and played all the way around. when she was there. And as Kelly Sheffield says, you go from not passing there when you're playing overseas to becoming a good passer to the Badgers' best passer and taking over that coveted spot. Ashburn, cross court there for Thomas O'Lara. Just has a nose to book the ball away.
She absolutely does. And right now the offense for Wisconsin isn't doing anything fancy. It's not super fast. In fact, balls are set really high. They're just letting their outside hitters just take big whacks at the ball.
And Wisconsin trying to cruise its way to another straight set victory, spreading the wealth and getting rewarded with all of the Badgers' offensive riches. Situation for both sides to figure it out. Jen Flynn Oldenburg says she's been supportive of nature. She said they're Buckeyes for life. They're just on loan for a couple months to all those other teams.
Yeah, those 5 players represented this program with class. They put Ohio State back on the national map. And, you know, fans think of what could have been, but Jen Flynn Oldenburg thinks, you know what, I am into these freshmen. I think we can be good. We need some experience. We need to gel. We need to get healthy. And she is fully committed to these young players.
Certainly, you'll come up against them along the way of the season. Good sign for Ohio State. There's two men, again, who went down awkwardly, back on the bench for the Buckeyes. We'll see if she gets back in here. Will they keep rolling with Gibson and get her some time?
And this is the rotation where Ohio State has Londot in the backcourt. We'll see if they set that back row attack to that left side. It's what they did last time, and they were successful.
Hamill serve, handled by the Buckeyes. Freshman Murphy with a cut. Smrek, contact up front for the Buckeyes, and then miscommunication. And a point here to Wisconsin. And Jen Flynn Oldenburg already lost one player in earlier this season, so this is probably a sight for sore eyes. Hey!
It's good to see you. This is what you got to love about Jen Flynn Oldenburg. She has got a great rapport with her players. She is so likable. Players love to play for her. So, you know, she's genuinely happy to see that Tuman is back out on the bench. We'll see if she gets put back into the lineup.
Wisconsin getting a little larger lead here at 5. About the free ball for the Buckeyes. How about the put away from Murphy?
Yeah, Murphy has quite the task. In serve receive, she's in right front. When the ball goes over the net, she's got to get to her hitting position. Look at how she takes advantage of a block that is put into the court a little bit. There's lots of room along that net in the sideline, and she hits that line shot beautifully.
Her 4th kill, 5 digs, couple of service aces. And now another service error hampering the building here for the Buckeyes.
Got Sid Taylor in the backcourt, Hoffman the libero, Sarah Sue Morbitzer, and then Emily Londot back to pass. And we'll see where Guchtikin, the server for Wisconsin, goes. My guess is it's going to be to Londot. Oh.
It goes over the end line.
An ace. So she goes between Sarah Sue Morbitzer and Hoffman. Take a look at this serve right in the middle and placed perfectly on that end line. That is a thing of beauty right there.
It is on the line. Another tricky serve, knuckleballing down. And again, Ohio State a bit off kilter here. It's been problematic at times, trying to get the passing down. And right now, Wisconsin closing in on a sweep.
Yeah, Ohio State had 2 players going after the ball aggressively, but you've got to know what to do and whose ball that is when it's not passed perfectly to the setter.
Just laid the set here for Wisconsin. Gibson and company getting one back here for the Buckeyes.
A well-placed tip. The blocker on the left side moves in, so there's area in that left front area of Wisconsin's court to tip the ball, and Guchtikin hustled for it, could not get that ball up.
Booth trying to run the slide. Wandot in position, and point Buckeyes.
We're seeing some variations to the offense here. We haven't seen Booth hit the slide off a serve receive. It could be a very effective swing, but that time that ball is set just outside and it hits the antenna, so out of bounds.
Taylor laying out in the back. Wandot off the block. Booth leading the charge up front. And 9 teams overall here for Wisconsin, and a bevy of block assists in the double-figure category. Comfortably won the first set, rallied from 5 down to take set 2. And they're looking to cruise here, but not quite. Ohio State, Gibson and company.
Now that's a good feeling if you're Gibson. That ball is passed over the net. You know that Wisconsin is going to smack that ball. And look at how courageous she is. She goes up and is in the right spot at the right time. And the energy that she gives after stuffing, that's a good thing for fans.
Stymies CC Crawford, who comes right back and finishes strong. And the senior from Lansing, Kansas, transferred from the Jayhawks, second season on the floor for this Badger crew.
So easy to set middle when that pass comes up to the setter, and Crawford loves to run that 31. Opens things up for the Pins.
Gibson tracking back, looking for Wandot, can't rein it in. Well, let's look at our State Farm State of Success. And the Sheffield and Company a few points away from making it 21 straight, which would equal their largest conference winning wave. And back in 97-98, when Wisconsin program was led by a guy by the name of John Cook. And again, number 2 Nebraska, number 1 Wisconsin. It feels like they're on a collision course again to decide this conference. We'll see how it plays out as we dive further into the conference schedule. But right now, Wisconsin on the verge of staying unbeaten on the season.
Big topics. Big.
To be a huge one. What I'm seeing from the Wisconsin team tonight are players that know their role. They step up. They're communicating well. They're not holding on to errors. They regroup and they trust in their talent. So this Wisconsin team has everything needed to be on top of the Big Ten and a national force to be reckoned with this year.
Thor hammering long boots, can't get to it. And again, for Kelly Sheffield's team, we talked about how he liked his attack at this point. Defensively, so the effort's been really good. We can still get a lot better passing and serving. Every coach says the same thing. Still room to grow. Well, we've seen that on display here. And again, the variety of weapons makes it so challenging to prepare to try to slow down Wisconsin.
Yeah, and I think if you're a hitter, a middle hitter, you've got to like that the setter is forcing the ball to you. So, it's just great to see an offense run like this where everybody is holding a little bit of the weight and the responsibility to score. That time it was Crawford just taking the ball and pushing it. But it was the risky set by Ashburn because she was down low, but she has trust in her hitter to be in the right spot, the same spot when she is off the net. So Crawford being an easy target to connect with in the middle.
Gibson going back for Thor. And now Thomas Alara right to the deck.
Yeah, I feel like Thomas Alara on that one was trying to go off the block, but she just missed it. It clearly did not hit any of the blockers on the Ohio State side of the net.
And Wisconsin thinking it would have match point. Instead, Buckeyes still trying to work their way back. Right up the crowd there with a good get. And now Thomas Olara looking for that one offhand. Not doing there either.
So this is what I love to see, how outside hitters handle 2 errors. Olara hit both errors on that, giving Ohio State some easy points. So we'll see what she does if she gets the ball this time.
Off the net. Alert work from Warshall. Gibson. First contact from Ashburn. Thomas Olara. What a layout there from Hoffman. Off the free ball, Thomas Olara able to get that one to count.
Look at the speed of Ohio State's defense. What a defensive get by this young lady, Caitlin Hoffman, the libero, just keeping that ball alive. I love seeing that, and I think sometimes players enjoy that moment where they're like, hey, look what I can do, but the speed, the change of direction, never giving up on the ball, that's huge.
And that's long off the serve. Buckeyes trying to see if they can extend this a bit. Marshall returning back in. Morbidson. Thomas Olara, cross court. One dot out of the back row. Marshall down to save it. Big cut there from Devin Robinson to seal the deal. And Wisconsin has another sweep. Make it 20.
सहारे रहबै के करा से दू बोलिया बोलबै अशोक अकेला के कहलू कि साथ न छोड़बै के करा सहारे रहबै के करा से दू बोलिया बोलबै अशोक अकेला के कहलू कि साथ न छोड़ब के रानी सोमी लागे आंसुआ गिरैले देहिया काप के लगे जा के रानी रानी हमर अखिया से आंसुआ बहे